Alrighty, thanks for coming. Let's get started today in broken toe pose. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? All right, I think we started like this maybe once or twice. So you'll, all it is you'll come to your knees, toes tucked, and then you'll just sit back on your heels. If this is too much for the bottoms of your feet, you can just untuck your toes and just sit back on your calves. So you can choose whatever you want. So choose your starting position. You can flutter your eyes closed or soften your gaze. Begin to bring some awareness to your breath. Drawing in deep breaths through your nose. And a nice loud breath out your mouth. Take in another deep breath just like that, filling your belly, filling your chest. This time seal your lips to the top and exhale back out your nose. Continue breathing here like this, in and out through your nose. Every inhale, making sure to fill all the way up to the top of your chest. And then with each exhale, constrict the back of your throat and create an oceanic sound. Take just a couple more rounds of breath here on your own. Being really conscious of the quality of your inhales and your exhales. Flutter your eyes open. Come up to your standing on your knees. Take your right leg, extend your right leg out to your right side and place the sole of your foot on the ground. Place your right hand on your right thigh. Inhale, extend your left arm up toward the ceiling. Exhale, side body stretch. Gently reach your left arm over to the right side. You'll feel a stretch along your left side body and a stretch in your right groin and your inner thigh. And as much length on your left side as possible. Now from here, continue to reach your left arm over to the right side. Pivot your torso so it's facing the right side, like you're reaching for your right foot. And then sweep your left arm down in front of you. Take your hands to the floor and extend your arms out in front of you, palms down on the ground. Right leg is still extended out to the side. Press your hips slightly back so you feel a nice opening in your right hamstring and your right inner thigh. Now curl your palms back in toward your body, lift your chest up, place your right knee back on your mat and extend your left leg out to the side. Place your left hand on your left thigh. Inhale, extend your right arm up toward the ceiling. Exhale, side body stretch. Send your right arm over to the left side of your space as much as you can or as much as you want. It's feeling a nice gentle opening in your left groin and an opening on your right rib cage. Now from here, pivot your torso over toward your left leg. Keep reaching your right arm over to the left side of your space. So your hands are reaching toward your left foot. Now draw your hands into center, place your palms on the ground and extend your arms out in front of you. Press your hips slightly back, but keep your left foot grounded so the sole of your foot is still pressing down into the floor. Walk your hands back into center near your body. Lift your chest up, place your left knee back on the ground. Plant your palms on the ground, come to a tabletop position, stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees, gaze between your palms. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly down to the ground and lift your gaze to the wall in front of you. Exhale, cat pose, press the ground away and pull your spine up toward the ceiling. Inhale, cow pose, drop your belly, expand through your collarbones. Exhale, cat pose, press the ground away, find space along the back of your spine. Return to a neutral tabletop, gaze straight down between your hands. Inhale, tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog, send your hips up and back. Take a moment to settle into this position here. You can bend into one knee, bend into the next. Bring your attention to your hands now. Point your pointer fingers directly forward. Press your big knuckles down into the ground and simultaneously lift your tailbone up toward the ceiling to lengthen your spine. Press your heels down as far as they'll go. It's okay if they don't reach all the way down to the ground, often to bring a slight bend to your knees here. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, ragdoll pose. Step your feet behind your wrists at about hip width distance and drape your torso over your thighs. Let your head hang heavy. You can nod your head yes. Option to grab for opposite elbows and sway side to side. Drop your arms down to the ground. Toe heel your feet together to touch. Leave just a sliver of space between your heels. Inhale, slowly roll up to stand, stacking one vertebrae on top of the next. No rush to get to the top. Whenever you do, flutter your eyes closed or soften your gaze. Press your palms together at your heart. Take a nice deep breath in. Strong breath back out your nose. Blink your eyes open if they're closed. Send your arms down to your sides. Shine your palms forward. Inhale, mountain pose. Extend your arms up overhead. Ground down through all corners of your feet and pull your kneecaps up to engage your quads. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips down toward the ground, slicing through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Press your palms to your shins or thighs and flatten out your spine. Shift your weight forward to the ball mounds of your feet and then pinch your shoulder blades together to create a flat spine. Take a breath in. Exhale, high plank. Plant your palms, step your feet back. Stack your shoulders over your wrists and your heels over your toes. Inhale, shift forward 2 inches. Exhale, low plank. Lower down halfway. Pin your elbows into your sides. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip to the tops of your feet. Shine your chest forward and straighten your arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and then back. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold. Step up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Palms to shins or thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Dive down. Inhale, mountain pose. Sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, standing at attention, Samasthiti, drop your hands together at your heart. Send your arms to your sides. Inhale, mountain pose, extend your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, ride your breath all the way down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, squeeze your core in nice and tight. Exhale, high to low plank. You can always take these on your knees or you can just skip them and press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, upward facing dog, flip to the tops of your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog, send your hips back. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, step up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out. Exhale, forward fold, bend down. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti, hands together at your heart. Drop your arms to your sides. Inhale, mountain pose, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, dive down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins or thighs. Exhale, high to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana, whichever variation you choose. Inhale, upward facing dog, straighten through your arms. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Take a nice deep breath in. Strong breath out your nose. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold, step to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out your back. Exhale, forward fold, release down. Inhale, chair pose. Sit your hips low and extend your arms up to frame your face and breathe here. Squeeze your inner thighs together, but at the same time, sit your hips a little bit lower and feel the engagement in your glutes. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward fold, dive back down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back. Exhale, high to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, nice strong breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog, breath out your nose. Inhale, keep your right heel high, flex your right toes down to the ground, and then squeeze your right butt cheek to lift your heel a little higher. Take a breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot in between your palms and drop your left knee down to the ground. Inhale, crescent moon. Extend your arms up overhead and breathe here. Now you can interlace your hands around your front thigh for this first one to sink into this stretch a little bit, feeling the stretch on your left hip flexors. So you can choose here. If your hands are down, inhale, crescent moon, extend your arms back up. Exhale, half split, straighten your front leg, come up onto your front heel and tense your fingers on the ground. Now here, your left hip will be stacked over your left knee. So if you're a little too far back, maybe walk your front foot forward a little bit. Nice neutral spine here. Take one more breath in. Hinge a little deeper on your breath out. Begin to shift your weight forward and tuck your back toes on an inhale, crescent lunge. Press your back knee up off of the ground and come up to a high lunge and breathe here. Stack your front knee over your front ankle and then squeeze your thighs toward one another without actually moving your feet. You'll feel the stability in your body. Take a breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Spiral your back foot down and open your hips to the left side of your space. So right toes point forward and then your left toes point toward the side wall. From here, inhale, star pose. Straighten your right leg, heels in, toes out. You can shake your hips a little from side to side, stretch out your hips. Now exhale, deep lunge to the back of your space. Bend deeply into your left leg, come up onto your right heel. So your right toes point up toward the ceiling, you're on your right heel, and you're lunging really deep into your left knee. Your left heel might come up off of the ground or it might stay planted, depending on the flexibility of your hips and your groins. Take one more breath in and another breath out. Now using the strength of your legs, inhale, star pose, press all the way back up, straighten both legs, heels in, toes out. Exhale, warrior two, bend back into your right knee and point your right toes forward. Inhale, reverse warrior, extend your right arm up and back, high five the back wall with your top arm. And exhale, high to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana, cartwheel your arms down, step your right foot back. Inhale, upward facing dog, flip to the tops of your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog, send your hips back. Inhale, keep your left heel high, flex your left toes down to the ground, and press even weight in your palms. Take a breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot between your hands and drop your right knee down to your mat. Inhale, crescent moon, hinge your torso up, extend your arms overhead and breathe here. You can interlace your hands around your front thigh again, if you did so on the other side. Maybe gently, very gently rocking forward and back, opening through your right hip flexors. If your hands are on your front thigh, inhale, crescent moon, extend your arms back up. Exhale, half split, straighten your left leg, tense your fingers on the ground and point your left toes up toward the ceiling. So again, find length in your spine rather than curling over. So nice neutral spine. With every inhale, lengthen out, and then every exhale, see if you can hinge from your hips just a little bit deeper. Now begin to shift your weight back forward. Tuck your back toes under and inhale, crescent lunge. Lift yourself up off of your mat, coming to a lunge position with your back knee lifted. Isometrically squeeze your thighs toward one another and then tuck your tailbone and engage your low core. Take a breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Spiral your back foot down and gaze over your left fingertips. So press as much weight to the knife edges of both feet as you can. So you're pressing your weight outward. From here, inhale, star pose. Create this X shape with your body, heels in, toes out. Maybe shake out your hips a little bit again. And now exhale, deep lunge to the back of your mat. Lunge into your right leg and then come up onto your left heel. So your left heel is on the ground, left toes point up toward the ceiling. You can keep your fingers or your hands on the ground to stabilize yourself. If you're super flexible, you want to sink a little deeper into the stretch, press your hands together at your heart. Again, your back heel might lift off of the ground a little bit. That's okay. If your back heel is lifted, maybe just keep your fingers on the ground. Now really using the strength of your legs. Inhale, star pose. Press yourself up, straighten both legs, heels in, toes out. Exhale, warrior two. Bend back into your front knee, point your left toes forward. Inhale, reverse warrior. Extend your left arm up and back. Maintain the bend in your knee. Take a breath in. Exhale, high to low plank. Cartwheel your arms down. Step your left foot back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. This is our sun B. We'll flow through twice more, linking breath to movement. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, step up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your spine. Exhale, forward fold, release down. Inhale, chair pose. Sit your hips nice and low. Extend your arms to frame your face. Exhale, forward fold, dive back down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out. Exhale, high to low plank. Remember, these are always optional. You can skip them and just press back if you'd like. Inhale, upward facing dog. Pull your thighs up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Inhale, keep your right heel high. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot between your hands and drop your left knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, arms up overhead. Exhale, half split. Straighten your right leg. Come up onto your right heel and tense your fingers. Now tuck your back toes under. Inhale, crescent lunge. Lift your back knee up off of the ground and reach your arms overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Open your hips toward the left. Inhale, star pose. Heels in, toes out. Get nice and big. Exhale, deep lunge to the back of your space. Come up onto your right heel. Hands either at your heart or on the ground. Using your legs, inhale, star pose. Press yourself back up. Exhale, warrior two. Bend into your right leg and point your right toes forward. Inhale, reverse warrior. Extend your right arm up and back. Exhale, high to low plank. Cartwheel your arms down. Step your right foot back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Flip to the tops of your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Inhale, keep your left heel high. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot between your palms and drop your right knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, arms up overhead. Exhale, half split. Straighten your left leg. Come up onto your left heel. Tense your fingers on the ground. Now tuck your back toes under. Inhale, crescent lunge. Press forward and lift your back knee up off of the ground. Exhale, warrior two. Spiral your back foot down and open your hips. Inhale, star pose. Heels in, toes out. X shape with your body. Exhale, deep lunge to the back of your space. Bend into your right leg. Come up onto your left heel. Inhale, star pose. Press up using the strength of your quads. Exhale, warrior two. Point your left toes forward. Bend into your left knee. Inhale, reverse warrior. Extend your left palm back. Exhale, high to low plank. Cartwheel your arms down. Step your left foot back. Inhale, upward facing dog, press your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, send your hips back. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, step up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins or thighs. Exhale, forward fold, release down. Inhale, chair pose, sit your hips low, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, forward fold, dive down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out. Exhale, high to low plank, always optional. You can take them on your knees. Inhale, upward facing dog, straighten your arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Use your core to lift your hips. Inhale, keep your right leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Step your right foot between your hands and drop your left knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, arms up overhead. Exhale, half splits. Press your hips back, come up onto your right heel. Tuck your back toes under. Inhale, crescent lunge. Lift your left knee up off of the ground, arms up overhead. Exhale, warrior two, spiral your back foot down, bend into your right knee. Inhale, star pose, heels in, toes out. Exhale, deep lunge to the back of your mat, come up onto your right heel. Now inhale, star pose, press yourself back up. Exhale, warrior two, point your right toes forward, gaze over your right fingertips. Inhale, reverse warrior, extend your right arm up, then back. Exhale, high to low plank. Send your arms down to the ground and step your right foot back. Inhale, upward facing dog, press your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips. Inhale, keep your left heel up. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot between your hands and drop your right knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, hinge your torso up, arms overhead. Exhale, half split, straighten your left leg, come up onto your left heel. Tuck your back toes under. Inhale, crescent lunge, press forward and then up. Exhale, warrior two, spiral your back foot down, gaze over your left fingertips. Inhale, star pose, heels in, toes out, creating X shape. Exhale, deep lunge to the back of your mat, feeling a stretch on your inner left groin. Inhale, star pose, press all the way up. Exhale, warrior two, bend into your left knee, point your left toes forward. Inhale, reverse warrior, keep the bend in your left knee. Exhale, high to low plank, cartwheel your arms down, step your left foot back. Inhale, upward facing dog, shine your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Drop down to your knees here. Press your big toes together to touch. Widen your knees out to the width of your mat. Sink your hips back and rest your forehead into your space. Take a few breaths here in child's pose to re-regulate your breath. Drawing in deep, full breaths through your nose. And then nice, strong breaths back out your nose. Take one more breath in. Feel your belly press against your thighs. And one more breath out. Sink your hips a little bit deeper. On your next inhale, rise up to a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, forward fold, step up to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out your spine. Exhale, forward fold, release down. Inhale, chair pose, sit your hips nice and low and extend your arms overhead. You've been here before, sit just a little bit lower this time. Take a breath in. Exhale, chair with airplane arms. Sweep your arms back and then pull your pinkies up toward the ceiling. Feel your triceps engage. The higher you lift your pinkies up behind you. Now inhale, chair pose. Extend your arms back up and forward. Exhale, chair with airplane arms, option for drinking bird, lifting your heels and coming up onto the ball mounds of your feet. Lift your pinkies up a little bit higher, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Drop your heels down, inhale, chair pose, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, release down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out. Exhale, high to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, shine your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, send your hips back. Inhale, keep your right heel high. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot between your hands. Now this time, inhale, crescent lunge, hinge your torso up and reach your arms overhead right away. Exhale, warrior two, spiral your back foot down, keep your right knee bent and gaze over your right fingertips. From here, inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, triangle pose. Reach your right arm forward as far as you can and then down toward your right calf. So in triangle pose, both legs are straight. Your left toes point toward the side wall and your right toes point forward in front of you. Press your hips to the back of your space. You'll feel a super deep stretch on your inner right thigh. We've already stretched out our inner thighs quite a bit. So your body should be ready for this pose here. Now from here, inhale, reverse triangle. Lift your right arm up and then back. Press your hips forward, keeping your right leg straight. Take one more breath in, expand. Exhale, high to low plank. Cartwheel your arms down and step your right foot back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Shine your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips back. Inhale, keep your left heel high. Exhale, low lunge. Step your left foot between your palms. Now right away, inhale, crescent lunge, arms up overhead, so your back heel is lifted. Exhale, warrior two, spiral your hips open to the right side. So left toes point forward, right toes toward the side wall. From here, inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, triangle pose. Extend your left arm forward as far as you can and then down toward your left calf. So your right arm energetically reaches up toward the ceiling. Think more about the reach up in your right arm, engaging your side bodies, rather than dumping down into your left hand. Again, nice deep stretch here on your left inner thigh. Should be pretty open at this point. Now inhale, reverse triangle. Lift your torso up and back and extend your left arm up and back. Take one more breath in, feel the stretch. Exhale, high to low plank. Cartwheel your arms down, step your left leg back. Inhale, upward facing dog, press your chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, keep your right heel high. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot between your palms. Inhale, crescent lunge, arms up overhead. Now from here, a different pose. Exhale, pressing with airplane arms. Hinge your torso forward at a 45-degree angle. So you're engaging your abs to lift your torso up off of your front thigh and then pinkies up toward the ceiling as high as you can. Now inhale, crescent lunge. Reach your arms back up overhead. We'll flow through this again. Exhale, crescent with airplane arms. Torso forward, core engaged. Now option to stay here. Option to come into full airplane. Full airplane, you'll gently lift your back leg up off of the ground. So your torso is about parallel with the floor. Flex your left toes down toward the ground if you're lifting your back leg and squeeze your shoulder blades together wherever you're at. Take one more breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Slowly lower your palms down to the ground. Now from here, still not done on this right leg, press all of your weight into your right foot. Big transition here. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Press your left knee up in line with your left hip, arms up overhead. Last bit of hard work on this right leg. Squeeze your right butt cheek a little tighter. Feel all those muscles engaged. Take a breath in. Exhale, Samastitihi, drop your left leg, hands together at your heart. Inhale, tree pose on the right. Press the sole of your right foot into your left calf or up on your inner left thigh. Should feel nice to give this right leg a bit of a break standing on it. So for tree pose, you can take whatever arm variation you'd like, whatever you're working on. To help with your balance, focus on one unmoving point in front of you, and then focus all of your attention on that point. For a little bit more of a challenge, try blinking your eyes closed for a moment. Feel how that changes your balance. Take one more breath in. Exhale, Samastitihi. Slowly drop your right leg, hands together at your heart. Inhale, mountain pose. Sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, dive down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten out your spine. Exhale, high to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Inhale, kick your left heel high. Exhale, low lunge, step your left foot between your hands. Inhale, crescent lunge, arms up overhead, bending into your left knee. Now exhale, crescent with airplane arms, hinge your torso forward, lift up high on your back ball mound of your back foot. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, feel your left hamstring, your left quad, all at work here. Now inhale, crescent lunge, rise back up. We'll flow again, exhale, crescent with airplane arms. Option to stay right here, work on strength here. Also option to come into full airplane. For full airplane, press all of your weight into your left foot and extend your right foot up and off of the ground. If you're in full airplane, flex your right toes down to the ground, squeeze your right glute, keep that right leg engaged. Wherever you're at, one more breath in. Exhale, low lunge, slowly drop your right foot down to the ground and your palms to frame your left foot. Now a little bit more work on this left leg. Press your weight into your left heel. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Slowly, as slow as you need, extend up and reach your left knee, or your right knee in line with your right hip, arms up overhead. Flex your right toes up toward your face. Squeeze your left glute. Feel your left leg burning. Take a breath in. Exhale, Samastitihi. Drop your right foot, hands together at your heart. Now press down through your right foot. Inhale, tree pose on the left. Press the sole of your left foot on your inner right calf or lift it up to your inner right thigh. Just avoid your knee joint. You never want to press on your knee joint in tree pose. So your knee joint's a hinge joint, just goes, front and back. It's going to go out to the side. So if your right hip is popping really far up the right side, press it back in toward your midline. Press your left foot really hard into your right thigh and your right thigh really hard back into your left foot. That will really help with your balance here. This is the opposing energy between your thigh and your foot. One more breath in. Exhale, Samastitihi. Drop your left foot down to the ground. Inhale, mountain pose. Extend your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge from your hips down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, palms to shins or thighs. Exhale, high to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, flip to the tops of your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog, send your hips up and back. Take a nice deep breath in. Strong breath out to your nose. Inhale, shift forward to a high plank. And exhale, slowly lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes, so press the tops of your feet down into the ground. Cricket your elbows up to the ceiling. Inhale, baby cobra. Press the tops of your feet down as hard as you can, so much that your knees lift off the ground, and gently lift your chest. Take a breath in. Exhale, slowly lower back down to the ground. We'll flow through this twice more. Inhale, baby cobra, chest up, little to no weight in your hands. Exhale, lower down. Last time, inhale, baby cobra, chest up, tops of your feet down. Exhale, lower down, lower your left cheek down to the ground. Extend your arms by your sides. Take a little mini shavasana here. Feel your heart beating into your mat. Now return your chin to center. Place your palms on the sides of your thighs so that your pinkies face up and your thumbs are touching the ground. From here, we'll take full locust. For full locust, you'll lift everything up. That includes your legs and your chest and your arms. So ready, inhale, locust. Lift your chest, lift your legs, and lift your pinkies up toward the ceiling. Squeeze the back line of your body. Inhale, lift just a little bit higher. Exhale, very slowly lower down. Lower your right cheek down to your mat and arms by your sides. Just rest everything here for one more breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Return your chin to center. Press up to standing on your knees. And then flip over onto your butt and extend your legs out in front of you. Point your toes up toward the ceiling, the backs of your legs down into the ground. Remove any flesh from under your sit bones. When you do that, it allows you to hinge forward a little further. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine. Exhale, seated forward fold, hinge forward and grab for whatever you can, whether that be your calves, your toes, or the outer edges of your feet. Now slowly rise back up. From here, cross your ankles, come to a tabletop position. Tuck your toes under behind you and exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Inhale, kick your right heel high. Exhale, half pigeon on the right. Draw your right knee toward your right wrist and plant your right shin on the ground. Now you can stay upright if you want. If you want to hinge your torso to the floor for sleeping pigeon, you can do that as well. Wherever you're at, just flex your right toes toward the wall in front of you. And extend your left leg straight back behind you. So you should be on the top of your left foot rather than the side of your left foot. Make sure you're on the top of your foot. If you're in sleeping pigeon, slowly press yourself back up. Press your palms into the ground. And inhale, three-legged dog. Extend your right leg high behind you. Option for a counter stretch. Maybe bend your knee and open up your hip a little bit. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, keep your left heel high. Exhale, half pigeon on the left. Draw your left knee toward your left wrist and your left ankle toward your right wrist. It's okay if your shin isn't totally parallel with the top of your mat. Just make sure your left toes are pointed in front of you. Your foot is flexed here. Again, you can stay upright. You can drop down to sleeping pigeon, whatever you please. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath. If you are in sleeping pigeon, slowly press back up to your palms. Then inhale, three-legged dog. Lift your left leg up high behind you. Option for a counter stretch, bending your knee and opening up your hip. We'll meet in downward facing dog. When you're in down dog, inhale, look forward. Exhale, come through to a seat. When you're on your butt, roll down to your back. Extend your left leg long and hug your right knee into your right armpit. Inhale, squeeze your leg up a little higher. Exhale, supine twist. Draw your right leg over to the left side of your space and tee out or goalpost your arms. Plant both shoulder blades down into the ground. So it's okay if your right leg doesn't hit the floor here. Option to drop your gaze over your right shoulder. Slowly return to center. Switch out your sides. Hug your left knee in and extend your right leg long. Inhale, squeeze your left leg. Exhale, supine twist. Draw your left leg over to the right side of your space. So reach your arms out to a T or a goalpost and press both shoulder blades into the floor. Slowly roll back to center. Hug both knees up into your chest. This time, wrap your forearms around your shins. Lift your forehead to your knees. Squeeze everything together, every muscle to every bone. Take a breath in. Exhale, Shavasana. Let your arms and legs go long. Let your body fall into whatever shape it pleases. Your body doesn't need to look like any shape in particular. Just however you're most comfortable. Relax any tension you're holding in your feet, in your calves. Relax your quads and your glutes. Release any tension from your hips, your abs. Return your breath to its natural rhythm. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And relax the muscles in your forehead. Just enjoy a moment of rest here. You can stay here in Shavasana as long as you like. If you'd like to be guided out, begin to bring small movements to your fingers and your toes. Roll out your ankles and your wrists. Take a nice long body stretch. Extend your arms overhead. Point your toes, arch your back. Draw your knees into your chest and roll onto whichever side favors you for fetal pose, using your bicep as a pillow. Press yourself up to a nice tall seat facing the front. You can place your hands on your knees in your lap at heart center. Either soften your gaze or flutter your eyes closed completely. We'll finish with a breath. Exhale out any air you have left in your lungs. Now take a nice deep full breath in, starting from your belly, lifting the breath into your lungs, into your chest. Then hold your breath in at the top. Nice loud open mouth exhale, sigh your air out. Lift your thumbs up to your third eye center, the space between your eyebrows and your forehead. The light in me honors and sees the light in all of you. Walk forward. Namaste.
Thanks, all.